Hey guys, my name is Mihir and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be covering and giving a brief overview of what a superannuation fund is. In this video, you'll learn which super fund you should invest in based on your age and risk profile, alongside if you prefer Australian market, international market, in terms of stocks or property. Before I give you more information related to this, I'd like to ask you a series of rhetorical questions. Firstly, do you know how much is in your super fund? How does it compare with other people? Is the money invested in Australian shares or the international market? What are the fees associated with managing the super fund? And most importantly, what is the performance of the super fund? If you didn't have an answer for one of the questions I asked, then please stay tuned as this video will have an answer for you. Now, if you're not quite sure what a super fund is, I'll jog your memory. But before that, let's change scenery. Now let's get back to the video, shall we? A super fund is essentially a tax-effective way to save for retirement. Sort of similar to a managed fund where your money is pooled with other members' money and invested on behalf of an investment manager. Generally, you can't access this money until retirement. However, there's some schemes such as self-managed super fund, first home buyer super scheme, things like that. However, it's really rigid. The only way you can access this money is in extreme circumstances such as homelessness or terminal illness. Now you may be wondering, the investment vehicles are chosen by the super fund. For example, you might want to check where super fund's investing. For example, you may prefer property over maybe the stock market or Australian shares over international shares, things like that. However, some supers also offer like a DIY, so you can do it yourself, such as Australian Super. For example, this graph is derived from Maritime Super. So as you can see, they're investing 35% of your money into Australian shares and 35% of your money into international shares, along with 8% of your money in property. So your super fund essentially decides where they're investing their money. However, there's many sort of managed funds within a specific super fund, but you also have the option of doing a DIY, so like a do-it-yourself option. Australian Super offers a DIY, in which case you can pick where your money is going. Rather than relying on an investment manager, you can do your own research and decide where you think is best to invest. Now, I want you to pay attention and focus in on this video, as this is the most important part of the video. Most of this gets neglected or overlooked, but people don't understand the power of compound interest. Here, let me show you. I have already covered these topics in great detail. The video you're seeing right now is called The Power of Salary Sacrifice, where I visually show you the compound interest taking effect. I've also made another video titled Salary Sacrificing Explained in 5 minutes, which goes over the basics of salary sacrificing along with the tax implications and why you should do it. Now you'll be wondering, what should I look out for? Well, there's 6 options or 6 factors you should look out for. The first one is fees. How much does it cost? Is it enough? Is it a lot? Or is it just draining a lot of money unnecessarily? The next thing you want to look out for is performance. Performance pivotal, not like 1 year because you can fluctuate. You want to look at 5 years, sort of long-term progress in terms of this sort of thing. The third thing you want to look out for is insurance. Like, what happens if something goes sideways? What happens if, for example, I'm not saying this happens, like touch wood, like for example, you die or you might get terminally ill, lose your job, things like that. You need to look out for those as well because they are really important. Another thing is services. Like, do they have a good customer service? Alongside that, what are their benefits to sort of providing you, Like one of my friends, he's able to get discounted movie tickets. That's pretty interesting. They offer things like that as well. Another thing you want to look out for is the investment options. Are you happy with the investing in Australian shares or the international market or even properties? Are you happy with that, And last but not least, it sort of ties into the services one. However, the services one is more orientated toward customer sort of serviceability. However, this one is benefits. Like I mentioned before, my friend is able to get discounted movie tickets. You want to look out for things like that. Not maybe a movie ticket. It's not that, too big of a deal, but some things like that because they can count and add up in the long run. Now you're probably scratching your head and wondering, well, Mihir, you've given me the 6 factors. I'm really grateful for that, but where do I find this information? Don't worry about that as well. I got you covered. I'm going to be listing a series of websites in no particular order, and I'll also be showing you them live in this video. The first website is canstar.com. Okay, let's start it off. This is the first website. So what you want to do is go into investing in super. From here, go into superannuation. Don't worry about the links, I'll leave them in the description, but I'm just showing you just in case if you don't have access to those links for whatever reason. So the good thing about CanStar is that you can input your age and your super balance as well, which many other sort of websites like these don't offer. The only other one is Rate City, so this is really good. Just before I begin, I want to just mention one thing clearly. Just because one metric, like I'll just show you, just say you care about performance, okay, performance over 5 years. Just because one super, for example Q Super, has performed 9.61 returns over the past 5 years annually, that doesn't mean it's necessarily better than, for example, Australian Super. You can tell by the stars, this is rated 4-star and this is rated 5-star. I mean, yes, this has one of the best returns here, but super funds are just more than returns. You got things like fees, you got benefits, there's a lot of things that come into consideration. So that's all I want you to be mindful of. The second website is ratecity.com. Just like the first website I reviewed called CanStar, this also allows you to input your age alongside your superannuation balance, which I think is really good. However, the main difference between CanStar and Rate City is that Rate City provides a bit more in-depth information. What CanStar does, it just redirects you to the website. So if I go in this one, more information, it tells me everything. It tells me the fund size, number of members, what it's targeting, the past 5-year return, everything. And it's really user friendly, like anyone can read this and tell. The third website is ChantWest. So the other websites we've been reviewing have been using a star grading system. This uses apples. So the gold apple here symbolizes the highest quality funds, whereas the bronze apple symbolizes a fair quality fund, which is basically bad, and we don't want that. So you come down here, go here and click on rating. This filters them all out. And you can obviously filter out based on the fund assets, the fund members. However, a key thing I want you to notice is that you'll see like a pattern. For example, you might, if you paid attention, see Australian Super along with Australian Catholic Super and Retirement Fund. You got to look out for the ones that are constantly appearing in these sites, because Australian Super so far has been in the top 5 or top 10 range. So this seems like a good super. However, the thing I want you to do is compare between them, because they might offer additional things that you might be looking for. For example, a discount on shopping somewhere, things like that, or maybe a discount on movie tickets. So it's more catered towards you. That's what you should look out for, because they're good performing super funds, but you should look out for those little sort of advantageous opportunities they give you. That's all. The fourth website is Morningstar. This is the Morningstar website. And if you're looking for a way to find where the superannuation trends are, you go over here to tools. From there you navigate onto fund screen over here. Click on that. And don't worry, I'll leave a link in the description. This is just in case if you're looking and you don't have that link. That's what you do, because it can get a bit tedious. The first important thing you gotta do here is deselect these options, because all you want is a a superannuation fund. You don't require any pension and annuities funds. I mean, if that's what you're looking for, then that's great, but this video is dedicated towards superannuation funds. So you just deselect all of them. From here, you come over to Morningstar rating, click on that, and this will give you all the 5-star ratings proposed by Morningstar. And just as a side note, each individual website, they have their own sort of grading system. However, the common ground between them is risk. Most of these top 5 performing the 5-star rated super funds have medium risk. They're not too high risk, but they produce good results out of it, or they have good sort of functions, features and benefits, such as discounts and like movie tickets, shopping, things like that. So that's what I want you to keep an open eye to. They all have different metrics of measuring it. The fifth website is Selection Super. This website is called Selecting Super. I actually like this website a lot. It's really good in terms of showing you the top 10 in every category. So what you do is you come over here to tools. From there you go to top 10 products. I'm assuming most of you are probably using your employer's super provider. However, I want you to obviously shift on your own, because there's many things like perks and lower fees. It's just depending on your situation. It could be a real life changer. So depending on what your goals are, I'd just go with performance in this instance.
from here, depending on the mutual fund or the sort of strategy you've chosen, most people pick default. Some people don't really pick growth because it's generally higher risk. So I'll go with default options. However, you can pick which one you want to go with. So here are top 50 personal super default investment options. That's a huge list, and you could be like, okay, I like the return on these. Then you could maybe compare it to the other websites that I've shown you, and then you can look at the benefits and the perks, and you can just shortlist it. Eventually you can pick one, and you don't understand how much money, time and effort this will save you.
The sixth website is Super Ratings.
Okay, last but not least, we have superratings.com.au. So what you want to do is navigate here to top 10 super funds. And one thing you might notice is that it doesn't load the second category and stuff. It takes a bit of time, so just be patient. So another reason why I like this website is really simple. It's just got top 10 super funds. It's got 3 categories. It's got returns, fees, and insurance. So if you're someone who maybe not have enough times in the hand, or they don't really care at this stage, or they just relax, you can just go to this website. It's the most easiest interface out of all these websites. However, if you want the best return on your time, money, and everything, I suggest you go look through the other website along with this and just cross-reference them. And I actually want you to look at the company's website. So actually not just look at these ones, actually go to Australian Super website and look at the fine print, because that's where everything's at. So like I mentioned before, there's 3 categories. There's top 10 returns, so what funds have had the best returns. Australian Super, you can see balance has high returns, which is really good. And you might have noticed Australian Super is like in the top 5 or top 10 in all of them. So this is a really good super. But like I said, it's based on your situation. You might benefit from maybe discount on like car insurance or things like that. So it's really catered towards you, because otherwise there's not too much of a difference between these numbers. It's just what they offer, like the benefits and the services, alongside the fees they take. The next category, like I just said, fees. So which funds have the lowest fees? And last but not least is top 10 insurance. Many people often neglect insurance as well. I want you to have insurance, like actual good insurance, because many people don't. And then what happens is somehow they get really sick and they lose their job. Maybe they get divorced. Just a lot of things can happen in life. So I want you guys to be insured. And you may be saying, oh, I'm wasting a bit of money. You're not wasting money. Anything could happen anytime. So please get decent insurance.
Hey guys, I hope you found this video interesting and learned something from it. So I hope you take action and change your super fund for the best. And another thing I want to mention is that I want to show you the true power of the compound interest effect. Because sometimes we hear things, it's amazing, but you got to see it to believe it, in my opinion. So I want you guys to please check out the Power of Salary Sacrificing video. In that video, you'll see the trend of what salary sacrificing does and how much it compounds. So please watch that video if you want to. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.